Hey everyone, welcome to The Alternates, a basketball show for the others where we like to showcase independent music and discuss all things basketball. We have a very fun and unique show lined up for you today. Clayton and I are actually both on the road. He's still on tour, and I am in frigid Boise, Idaho, hanging out with some family right now. But we've got some great segments. We're still going to be hitting headliners, 3-pack, bet brains, and a little bit more. So we've got all that coming up after this song. Clayton, first of all, great to see you. Second of all, what song are we starting the episode with?
Great to see you. Great to see all the alts out there. So the song I got here for you all is Demonios from Los Angeles. They're a newer hardcore punk-ish band. The song's called Escapar from the self-titled cassette on 1753 Records.
Incredible. We'll be right back. What is up, y'all? Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. We, of course, are The Alternates. I am your host, Brian Cullen, and with me from the road is the king of the dirty South, Clayton Stevens. Clayton,
Hello.
It feels good to get the old band back together.
We're back.
We're back. Before we jump into our first segment, just want to take a quick second, ask you to subscribe to the channel on YouTube. That's youtube.com/clipsetpod, and like the video. I know it's silly, but that thumbs up really helps us out. If you're not catching us on YouTube, wherever you're listening to the podcast, go ahead and hit subscribe there. If there's an option for rating and review, do that as well, because not only does it help us climb the hill of algorithms, it also just makes us feel good about ourselves, and we're always looking for that kind of validation around here. If you want to get a hold of the show, you can email us at thealternateshoop@gmail.com. You can follow the show on TikTok at thealternatesNBA. Or if you want to get a hold of us, you can do so by commenting on the video, and we will get back to you right away, immediately. In fact, we might respond before you even press send on your comment. That's how on it we are. Clayton, how's the road, buddy?
The road is good. As I said the other day on the show, we are basically heading right into Texas. And so I will be in Texas for the next few days. So looking forward to it.
Awesome, man. Shows are going well. You're having a good time?
Shows are going great, having a really good time. And yeah, just still following basketball, following League Pass on my phone in the van, going through sketchy desert, trying to look at the pixelated players. And
hey, that blob just scored a 3.
Exactly.
Incredible.
Exactly.
All right. Well, with that said, let's get into the first segment, which of course is headliners. I'm going to start with one that is going to break both of our hearts, and I wanted to start with the bad news first. We have Oklahoma City Thunder's, the future logo of the NBA, Luguentz Dort, out for the remainder of the season with a torn, is it labrum or labrum?
I think it's labrum.
Labrum, yeah. I still haven't finished med school yet, so I'm not 100% on that, but labrum. What's your take on this injury?
I mean, tough for OKC, tough for the fans out there, someone that you get to go to the arena and root for. But you know what? Look, this team obviously they're well out of the play-in picture,
Yeah.
well out of the games really mattering for much of anything besides development. And Lou Dort, we don't really need him to develop right now.
He's perfect.
He's perfect as he is, right? So hopefully this means just some more time for some guys who are needing those minutes out there. Even Wiggins, right?
Yeah.
Who they gave a guaranteed contract to, and it sounds like he's going to get some more minutes. And Trey Mann's going to continue to get minutes, and all these young guys and G League guys that they have on the team are going to get more time to play. So it's good for that, and hopefully this is something that Lou is not going to suffer from long term, right? Let's just the team. I think they have him on such a great deal, long-term deal, that it's in their best interest as well to keep him healthy long-term. And so I think this is a mutual thing between the team and him. Like, let's not even try and push it. Come back next season super healthy. And that's sort of my take on it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think if this had happened 2 to 3 months ago, obviously any injury is terrible, right? You're never happy about any injury, but if it happened 2 or 3 months ago, it might be a little more devastating. The chances are with OKC, where they are in the standings, wanting to get, lower in the standings, try to get that highest lottery pick that they can get, they were probably going to shut him down or start shutting him down or cutting his minutes anyways. I imagine Shea is going to start seeing a drop in minutes. Some of these guys that you said aren't necessarily the kind of focal point for development right now, probably going to start to minimize what they're doing. So if you're going to be injured, it's probably the best time if you're on the Thunder, because you were going to start to see that decrease anyways. And on top of that, it happened in a way where he's going to be ready to go once next season starts. They already said he will be fully recovered by the beginning of next season. So in terms of injuries, this is probably the best case scenario for Lou Dort.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more on that one.
Next, we're just going to keep the 50 train going because apparently right now guys just can't stop scoring 50 points. And this one comes from Kyrie Irving, who drops 50 in a win against the Hornets. Were you able to catch this game on the road?
Yeah, I was not able to catch this game live. Did go back and look at it and look through it, and wow.
Yeah.
The most efficient 50-point game in NBA history.
Yeah, it was a nice reminder, right, that Kyrie is still that dude.
Unbelievable, and that's why, look, I still can't quit the Nets. I can't lie to you. I cannot quit the Nets, and it's because of things like this. Like this, they have so much high-end talent who's done it at the highest level. Kyrie Irving has hit one of the biggest shots in NBA history. Kevin Durant, obviously one of the greatest playoff scorers in NBA history.
Yeah.
So, their seeding is going to be terrible. They still don't really have a full team together. And yet, I would not want to play them. This is a brutal reminder to the rest of the league that, hey, look, even if it doesn't happen for them this year, they're going to be a tough out in the playoffs if they get there. And next season, if they come back healthy, let's say the vaccine mandate is completely over with, Kyrie has a regular season again, they could be title favorites again next season. So it's really good news for the Nets. And it, like you said, just a reminder of like, this guy is all time.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah. I'm just enjoying watching you, like tell me like, I just need one more fix, man. It's all good. I just need like every time you're out, they bring you back in.
They do. I cannot help it. It's
it's pretty incredible. And he's just on the list now of guys that are scoring 50 currently. And they're all coming from the guys that you kind of expect, right? I think Tatum might be the only name where you're like, oh, wow. Okay. That's impressive. But still, Tatum's incredible, right? And like Kyrie, he's still got it, which I think, to your point, shows how much they also need him, right? Like how much it's hurting this team that he's missed so many games, because he is a guy that can go for 50. He is still that incredibly good at what he does. So
Yep.
it'll be interesting to see, how the playoffs shake out, what the private sector does with the mandates and all of that. But moving on.
Yeah, and look, you know what? Just to put a point on that
Yeah.
at the end here, if he plays really well in the playoffs, and we see that, this team looks like maybe they are gelling at the end here, whether it goes poorly or not by the very end of it, I think they can use this as a jumping off point for next season. Maybe this makes Kyrie sign an extension, and maybe things start to calm down in Brooklyn and we get a real team that can be together, have a training camp together, be a regular team again.
Yeah.
Because it just seems like from the jump of this Kyrie and Durant thing, there's been one thing or another that made this team there's been situations that have just popped up over and over and over again. And maybe next season will finally be the time that they start off on the right page.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. You called it a possible jumping off point. I got to say, Kyrie was my jumping off point this season. Okay, so moving on. We've got Devin Booker.
Fair.
So we had I think some people would consider a possible finals preview, and it was the Suns versus the Heat. And Devin Booker put up 23, 8, and 9 in a pretty convincing win over the number one team in the East, Miami Heat. Still without Chris Paul. I guess why I wanted to put this one in here is, does this just solidify the Suns as the top contender in the NBA?
This doesn't. Booker, we know. Chris Paul, we know. What to me has really impressed me with this team, one guy actually specifically, and that's Cam Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's a real 20-point per game scorer, which it really does feel like he is, and it feels like he's making that jump, that to me is what's going to put them over the top.
Yeah.
Because, last season in the playoffs, even though he's a great shooter, a lot of teams were choosing to have him be the guy to take the shot, right, when it really counted. And he was hit or miss at times. And I really feel like this season he's made a ridiculous jump. His confidence is through the roof. And it seems like the team really trusts him to take big shots. And so I think that says a lot more about where the Suns could be going this season, possibly, to the NBA Finals, and makes them a very scary out.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I guess I'm not all the way there yet, mostly because Jimmy Butler didn't play in this game, right? And I will say for the Suns, it was the second night of a back-to-back, so while you're not playing against Jimmy Butler, you're playing against very heavy legs. And you bring up Cam Johnson. The night before, Devin Booker didn't play. He was still in health and safety protocol, and they won that game as well. And DeAndre Ayton put up a 2020 game, or damn near 2020 game. It was like 21 points and 19 rebounds or something like that. So while it's hard for me to say, yes, this is solidifying them as the absolute favorites, I'm with you in terms of, with Chris Paul out, winning games on the second night of a back-to-back, which is very hard to do. Like, it's very difficult for teams to do that. And to not just do that on the back of, the other star. Like, they're having guys step up, like DeAndre, like Cam Johnson. They're having all these other people step up. And I think that depth is making me kind of buy in a little more in terms of being like, yeah, that should be the favorite right now. But I'm not all the way there yet. I still think there's some sleeping giants sitting in the standings.
I also, until Chris Paul comes back, they're not the favorites to me.
Yeah.
As long as we see Chris Paul come back on the floor, to me, they become the favorites across the NBA just because of seeding and the likely matchups that they're going to have moving forward, having home court, the entire way forward. But we need to see Chris Paul come back on the floor
Totally
for
fair.
them to be that. But then, without him, I kind of think with this Cam Johnson jump, with Mikal Bridges still playing well, with Ayton playing well, like you're saying, I think this kind of solidifies them as they're right there with the Bucks and the Heat and these teams that have a lot of depth and star power that, regardless of one guy goes out or whatever, you still feel like they have a good chance to win any night versus anybody, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's a great call. Great call. All right, we're going to move on, and we're getting into 3-pack, my favorite segment. So I happen to know Friday, as this episode comes out, you will be getting ready to play a show in Dallas, Texas. So I zoomed in on Dallas, and there's a guy in Dallas. I'm not sure if you've heard of him. His name is Luka Doncic. And this is going to be...
Eastern European fellow, huh?
yeah. This is a Luka Doncic 3-pack. Now, I got to say, as I was getting this together, I know Luka's good. We all know that he, came into the league as, highly regarded. Everybody was like, oh, this guy's really good, right? He got drafted by the Hawks and then was traded for Trae Young. There was that swap that happened draft night. He came in, everybody knew he was the youngest MVP in EuroLeague history. I think he was he 16 when he started playing professional basketball in Europe?
Yes. 15, 16, around that age. Yeah.
Just absolutely incredible. And as I did this, I was shocked by how many accolades he actually has in the NBA already. So it was hard for me to narrow some of this down, but here we go into Luka Doncic 3-pack. Fact number 1, he had 20 straight games with at least 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, the most since the 1976-1977 ABA-NBA merger. That record was previously held by Michael Jordan, who did it in 18 consecutive games. Fact number 2, he is the 4th player in NBA history with multiple 45, 5, and 15 games in a calendar month. The last occurrence of this stat line was from Wilt Chamberlain in 1966. Last fact. He's already, this is his 4th season, he's already in the top 10 all-time triple-double leaders, and he passed Larry Bird earlier this season on the list.
Whew, okay. So, first of all, I just need to point out that you brought up 3 things here, right? Two of them are true. One of them is about Michael Jordan. One of them is about Wilt Chamberlain, and one of them is about Larry Bird.
Yeah.
And as you said, we are talking about a player who
he's 23.
is he's 23 years old. He's less than 5 years into the league. Any of these accomplishments are absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now I'll start at the bottom here with the triple doubles. I believe that one is true.
Okay.
He has, the triple doubles in the NBA have seemingly gone up a lot over the years, and pace has really come back to the NBA since in the early days pace was up like that, and now post 2010s pace has really gone up. A lot more guys are getting triple doubles. So I believe that one is true. When we're talking about Wilt Chamberlain, 45, 5, and 15, 4th player with multiple of those in a month, it feels like he does that every single time he plays the Clippers.
Yeah, that's fair.
That feels like a low average for him every time he plays the Clippers. So I'm thinking about that one a second. And then, of course, the Michael Jordan record, 20 straight games with 25 and 5. I'm going to say that one because 20 straight, that's just tough to do, right, in this league. It's funny, though, because I really want to pick the 45, 5, and 15 because that just seems like, how could you do that 4 times in a month?
Yeah.
But if there's one guy in the NBA that I would have guessed could do 45, 5, and 15 4 times in a month, it would be Luka. He would be my guess.
Okay.
So I'm going to say that one's true. I'm going to say that the 20 straight games with at least 25 and 5 is not true.
Okay. Wow. Well, you got it wrong. The lie was fact number 3. So it is true. He is in the top 10 all-time triple-double leaders, but Larry Bird is still ahead of him. He's probably going to get another season to catch him. But It is worth pointing out that he has passed up guys like Bob Cousy, Rajon Rondo, John Havlicek, Michael Jordan, Grant Hill, Elgin Baylor. Like, he's passed up some of the greats. So he's
Hall of Famers across the board, yeah.
He is at 10 right now with 45. Larry Bird is right ahead of him with 59. So he will pass Larry Bird next season. I do believe that much is true. But it's... Like I said, dude, I was looking through this and I couldn't believe everything. Most career triple doubles by a teenager in NBA history. He broke Jason Kidd's franchise record for most triple doubles in just 122 games. Most triple-doubles in a season before turning 22. Youngest player in NBA history to lead the league outright in triple-doubles. He beat Magic Johnson for that. Like, I'm telling you, like, this page that I'm looking at, it goes on and on and on. First player in NBA history with a 30-point triple-double as a teenager. First player in NBA history with multiple 30-point triple-doubles in games with 30 minutes or fewer played. That's insane. Did it in under 30 minutes.
So a lesson, I think, from Luka. I think that the NBA and people in general need to understand. When this guy was coming into the draft, he was, like you said, super young, 18 years old, had just won MVP of the EuroLeague, won a EuroLeague championship, had done phenomenal in Eurobasket, all that stuff. And I think a lot of people looked at it like, okay, yeah, you're doing it in EuroLeague, not that big a deal. The EuroLeague is the second best league in the world.
Yeah.
He was dominating it at the age of 18.
Yeah.
When someone is performing to that level in that league, that does not mean that they're not good enough to be in the NBA.
Absolutely.
In fact, it means quite the opposite. It means that they are more than good enough to be in the NBA. And so, we got to respect what these guys are doing over there and understand that, like, just because it's not the NBA doesn't mean that this is not extremely high level. And Luka himself said, look, in the NBA, because of the way that the game is played, there's actually more spacing in the NBA than in Europe, and that it was easier for him to score in the NBA than it was in Europe.
Yeah, that's insane. I almost threw this in here. This is a fun fact. Him and his dad both were teammates with Goran Dragic in the EuroLeague. So obviously Luka with the Slovenia national team, and then his dad played in Europe on a team with Goran Dragic. And that's actually, he was like 3 years old at the time or something like that. And he was like a ball boy for that team and would like rebound for Goran Dragic and all of that. So it just makes sense that this guy is incredible.
Yeah, no, I mean, he really does have a chance to be, one of the most special players to ever play this game.
Yeah.
If he continues anywhere near what these first few seasons have been, and as great as Trae Young is, it's going to be a note forever that they were traded for each other, and it's kind of crazy to look back and think what could have been for the Hawks.
I know. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Travis Schlenk doesn't stay up too much at night thinking about it. Trae Young is, almost as good as it gets statistically, but there's just that extra thing that Luka has that is just unquantifiable, I think, that you can't even see in the stats. I mean, the stats are ridiculous, as we're talking about here, but there's just that extra level of he just finds a way to dominate the game and win the game that I think is just tougher for Trae, right? Especially with his size and all of that stuff.
Yeah, size has a lot to do with it.
It really does. And Luka, I think also this year is worth pointing out, has really improved defensively, I think. And it means great things for the Mavericks. And the trade that they made to get Porzingis out of there looks like it's worked out pretty good.
It looks genius, yeah.
Yeah, so very high on Luka going forward this season as well.
All right, well, that leaves us with only one place to go, and that is the Casino of Clayton. Time for this week's Bet Brains. Clayton, what do we got going on at the casino this weekend?
Okay, so let's review last week's bets that you went over with Zach.
Yeah.
So in honor of our friend Zach Pugh coming on the show, a Cavs super fan, I had the first bet here as Raptors at Cavs last Sunday. I had the Cavs winning the tip and scoring first. They did win the tip. Unfortunately, Chris Duarte scored first. So that one did not hit. Then I had the Warriors at Lakers on Saturday. I thought this bet was absolutely hilarious, and I think you guys did too, which was I had Malik Monk, Carmelo Anthony, Austin Reeves, and THT making more threes than Stephen Curry. This one hit.
Yes,
Steph
it did.
Curry only had like 4 threes in the game.
Yeah.
I think Monk actually tied him on his own.
Yeah.
So pretty easy hit for you. But you only put 25 on this one. You didn't believe in it enough.
Yeah, I let somebody else play with my money, and that was my mistake number one.
Yeah. So, but look, you put down $25 on a plus 400 bet, you win 125.
I'll take it.
Last one here, we had the Rockets back-to-back Sunday, home versus the Grizzlies, Monday at Miami. I had over 33 and a half turnovers. The second game, they had like 17 or 18 turnovers, but the first game they held the ball, and actually I think they were about 10 turnovers in that game. So actually a really good ball handling game for the Rockets there.
Of course.
So that one did not hit. So you spent 150, but you won 125 back. Down $25, not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, look, it's alternates dollars, right? But because Zach did put the money down, he decided where the money was going that weekend. I am expecting him to pay me 25 real dollars to make up for that loss.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, we will be shaking you down, Zach. There will be some scary folks showing up at your house soon. Okay. I got wise guys, all right? All right, so we got 3 brand new bets here. Of course, you need to spend 100 over these bets, however you like to spend them. First one, I got Clippers, our little hometown team there. Clippers at Hawks on Friday. Lou Williams, always fun when he's playing the Clippers again. So interesting one here. I got Clippers at Hawks Friday. Over 35 and a half combined made free throws.
Okay. This one I don't really love. I'll put $25 on this one. The only reason I don't like it is the Clippers, you never know if they're going to get to the line. They have games where they only attempt, 12 free throws in a game as a team. So while I believe in the Hawks' ability to get to the line, I'm not very confident in the Clippers, so I'm only going to put $25 on this bet.
Yeah, and look, I would totally agree with you on that. And the Clippers have a couple guys, Hartenstein specifically, who can get in that foul trouble real quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's going to be your best bet here. But yeah, okay, so 25 on that one. Then we go all the way over to the East Coast. Knicks at Nets. Bing bong. Battle of New York Sunday. I got the under on 7 combined blocks. Plus 300. What do you think about that one?
I love this one. I'm going to put $50 on this bet because it is in New York. And so it's obviously no Kyrie, which I'm not, obviously he's not racking up the blocks, but he does like to get a little closer to the rim. The Knicks are so disappointing. The Nets are so disappointing. I don't imagine them combining for more than 7 blocks. So I'm gonna take the under on 7 blocks in that game, and I'm gonna put $50 on it.
Okay, great. So we got 50 on that one, and then lastly, Saturday, fun matchup here. Bucks at Warriors Saturday. Warriors really needing to get wins, and I'm preying upon the sort of interesting dynamic going on in Golden State right now with Jordan Poole.
Yeah.
So I have Jordan Poole going over 6.5 threes made. Basically needs to hit 7 or more threes in this game.
Yeah. Again, not a big fan of this one. A, 7 threes in a game is wild. B, I think Jordan Poole might be the most unpredictable player in the entire league. You don't know, he could go 7 for 11 from 3, and then he'll go 1 of 14 the next night. He's so up and down. And look, his improvement has been incredible. He's been great. He just hasn't been consistent. And that inconsistency makes me a little nervous. So I'm only putting 25 on this bet. I'd like to see it happen. I'm a big Jordan Poole fan. I love watching him, but I can't trust the guy who hasn't been consistent all season. And that perimeter defense for Milwaukee with Drew Holiday and even Giannis stepping out there, making things difficult because his arms are so long he can rotate out to the 3-point line pretty quickly. I'm not confident in this one, so just put 25 on that one.
Okay. Yeah, and look, I'm keeping my eye on Jordan Poole in general right now because Klay Thompson really has been struggling recently to get shots to go down, right? And it feels like the fans, sort of reading the online reaction is like feels like we need to be playing Jordan Poole a lot more
Mm.
and letting him cook a little bit and letting him get some shots up. And so I'm interested to see when they get into close games, when they're playing good teams like this, if Klay Thompson isn't making shots, is Steve Kerr going to go to Jordan Poole and have him in crunch time and, have him be the guy sort of getting shots up when it counts the most? I'm not sure, but I think it's a really interesting thing to see looking forward. Like, does he trust Poole when Klay isn't going?
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything you can say about Steve Kerr's tenure as a coach, it's that he can be reluctant with changing some lineups, and I know the fans have gotten pretty upset with him over that kind of stuff. So I'm not sure, especially as they are kind of losing this grip on. I think the biggest factor is them losing this grip on the 2 seed and starting to slide back and making it, like the Grizzlies are jumping them and then going back and then jumping them and going back. And so maybe he does have to get a little bit more creative to ensure that he gets that 2 seed for the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. And to your point, look, I think Kerr, we've seen he's really a defensive-minded coach. Everyone thinks about the ball movement and they think about the shooters and all of that stuff. But really, when it comes down to it and it comes down to the biggest moments, we've seen him go to more defensive lineups, go to his bigs, try and protect the rim when it matters the most. So Jordan Poole doesn't fit into that, right? But at the same time, your team is your team.
Yeah.
And if Jordan Poole is going to help you win games, maybe Jordan Poole is that guy. And we know that Klay Thompson's a big fan of Jordan Poole.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just an interesting dynamic to see.
Yeah.
Is really more what this bet is about. Like, let's keep an eye on Jordan Poole. Let's see where this is going.
No, that's a great call. Well, listen, we will check back next week and see if I hit on any of these weekend bets. Clayton, I appreciate you setting those lines. I appreciate you setting aside the time from what is clearly some kind of hotel lobby or something that you're recording in right now.
Yeah, I'm in the beautiful Holiday Inn Business Center.
Well, I appreciate you doing that with this kind of last minute trip that I had going out of town and having to move some stuff around. So, and most of all, we appreciate everybody listening or watching. It means the most to us. Remember to hit subscribe on that. I will be back Tuesday with a new episode with Zach Pugh. He's coming back on the show. So I will be able to collect my $25. Everybody have a great weekend. Remember to be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other. And on that note, I'm going to leave you with a song. It's kind of a post-punk, gothy kind of vibe to it. The song is called Pictures from Occupied Europe by the band Spectres on their 2020 Nostalgia LP on Artifact Records. Thank you all so much. We'll see you soon.
Thanks.